Hey Noville fans, and we are now hitting December, cold weather. We're getting ready to make some vegetable soup. If you're a kid like I was growing up in the South, we enjoyed watching our grandmothers make vegetable soup. My way is a little different because all my stuff is out of the cans. It's not fresh out of the garden like our grandmothers and grandfathers' soups were. But we're going to take you on the vegetable soup adventure here with Cooking with Dad Before He's Dead. Alright, so nothing too crazy here. All we're doing is taking about 5 carrots and just chopping them up. I think for what I'm making here, I only want about maybe a cup and a half's worth. If it's 2 cups, that's fine, but I've got 5 medium-sized carrots that I'm chopping. Got a medium-sized head of cabbage here. All I want to do is cut them up into little small pieces. And that's what's going to go in the soup later on. But we're going to go ahead and get those cut now, washed, and get them ready to add later on when we get ready for it. But a medium head of cabbage is all we need. Now, I know you traditionally use ground beef, but I was able to get some sirloin steaks, and these are top sirloin, and these were actually cheaper than the ground beef, so I'm going to use these instead. But this is 3 pounds of top sirloin steaks. I got these at the commissary, can you believe it, for about maybe almost $3 a pound. Not bad. And all you want to do is cut them into little bite-sized pieces. I'll say about maybe 1/2 inch chunks is what I'm going for. Nothing special to it. Alright, here's the fun part. Let's get it cooked. I'm going to start off with a little bit of olive oil. Not much. Just to give the meat a little bit of fat to do its thing there. I'm going to toss in my top sirloin. I'm gonna let this cook down. We're getting the meat cooked. It's browned about halfway. Now I'm gonna add my carrots and stir them around for a couple of minutes, I guess. So the meat and carrots have been going for about a couple of minutes. At this point in time now, I'm gonna drop in 2 cans of diced tomatoes, and these are the 30, what are these? I can't even read that. I don't know, 20 something, 28 ounces, I guess. They're the big cans. So that's what I'm going to be dropping. 2 of these big cans of diced tomatoes. Give it a stir. I'm going to let this come to a pretty decent boil. Let it go for about maybe, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. That sounds about right. So we've had this simmering about maybe 20-30 minutes. So I'd say about maybe more toward the 30-minute side. And I think now things are kind of going good with the meat and the carrots and the diced tomatoes that are in there. We're going to start adding our vegetables. Now, for me, you can do whatever you want to. If you want to have frozen vegetables, put those in there. I'll just use these canned vegetables, and I've drained the water and stuff out of them. But I got 2 cans of butter beans, because we do enjoy butter beans, and I've drained these also. But everything else I've drained just to help control the amount of liquid that I do have in here. So I'm going to make sure that most of it's going to be this V8 that I'm fixing to put in. And from there, I got corn, and I'm putting in 3 cans of corn. Why not? Why not 3 cans? Just to make it corny. Corny. Ha ha. And then we're going to go with 3 cans of green beans. And that will be what I'm doing in this little pot here. If you got a bigger pot, smaller pot, tailor it to whatever you can be able to do for yourself, and that'll make your make your vegetable soup. Now I got some V8, and I'm gonna probably try to put as much of this as I possibly can. Let me see if all this will fit in here, which I think it will. Woo, look at that. To the brim, to the brim. And I'm gonna put a bit of water in here, just to rinse the old bottle down. Now that is a big pot of vegetable soup. Let's give it a stir. Oh yeah. We're going to bring this to a simmer, and we're going to let it simmer for, I'd say, about another good 30 minutes. And we should be kind of good to go. So we'll see you then in about 30 minutes of this simmering. So we've had this simmering now for, I'd say, about a good 30 minutes or so. And let's give it one good final stir here. I did have to switch to a bigger pot because I still had my cabbage to put in, and that other pot was pretty much to the brim. So I got the other pot here, transferred it. Now we're going to add in our cabbage that we chopped up earlier, and this was one medium size head of cabbage that was chopped up. Let's get that in the pot. We're going to let this come back to another boil and let it simmer for 10-20 minutes probably. Enough to make sure that the cabbage is cooked thoroughly. And we got cornbread in the oven now. So here in about 30 minutes, we're going to be about ready to eat some vegetable soup. Now, I have not put potatoes in my vegetable soup. There's a lot of recipes out there, and maybe you're familiar with yours having potatoes in it, but I don't put potatoes in my vegetable soup. The main purposes and reason is because I don't like the extra starch in there, and whenever we take our soups and we freeze them and then thaw them and warm them up again, I notice that potato breaks down a lot. And what you can do is take the soup here, freeze it. When you warm it back up, chop you some potatoes in there and let that go for 15-20 minutes. It'd be the same thing. I figured that Tanya, she grew up with potatoes in her vegetable soup. I don't remember if I did or not, but I'm just not a fan of them as I make my initial pot of vegetable soup. But you can always add them later if you want them. But let's let this ride for another 15-20 minutes. We'll see you then. So there we have it. I'll let that cook another 30 minutes with the cabbage in there. Got some cornbread made and got a chunk of that in my soup. And as you can see, there's just a wonderful array of vegetables. Got the meat in there, got the cabbage, got the cornbread. Let's have a taste. So I know the standard is to do with the ground beef, but I'm telling you, doing it with that top sirloin, it's pretty good. It's not as greasy and oily, and just the meat itself is pretty good in the soup. I think I just burnt the roof of my mouth, but it was worth it, just for you guys. So there it is, vegetable soup made by me, and kids, try it. You guys will enjoy it. This is the soup you guys have grown up on me making it throughout the years. And for you guys out there in Noville land, give it a shot. Thanks for joining me on this one. If I don't see you until then, Merry Christmas to you guys. And you know what's full. We'll see you then. Toodles.